I have with me Mr. Satya Saurabh, a man who had predicted and precisely predicted the economic downturn that engulfed the entire world 2007 onwards. He is now propounding the theory or the process of foreseeing. But with him, I will talk about social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility, and other aspects of the Indian economy. So, thank you so much for joining us on Business World TV. So, my first question to you, we're talking about corporate social responsibility. India has this perception, the world has this perception about India that we are not givers. Indians do not make great philanthropists. Obviously, there are exceptions and they'll perhaps go on to prove the rule. Why do you think that this perception has stuck to India?
First of all, corporate social responsibility is a label.
Yes.
And I never give importance to labels. The second thing is perception. Mahatma Gandhi was perceived as a half-naked seditious fakir. Now the president of US puts his photograph in the White House. I do not think perception is important, intention is important. We talk of Tata Group. J.R.T. Tata's father, or the person who started Tata Group, his father was a priest, was a Parsi priest, and the son decided not to become a priest but decided to join business. But the ideas that he used were the ideas which are in the spirit of living life. So you can call them spiritual ideas, but really these are ideas which have to do with the way you live life. And if the spirit of living life is executed in business, you need not use any label of CSR or philanthropy or anything. The value that you add to business is the value you add to life.
Right.
And since man and society are closely interlinked, if you are able to see the interlinkage between yourself and the value you add to society as value you are adding to yourself, then the ideas of labels of corporate social responsibility or what people perceive about you, I think, become irrelevant.
But still, the Indian government has had to mandate a certain percentage of the book profits to be set aside as CSR for Indian companies. Do you think a mandate is A, required, and B, will actually bring in this philosophy of philanthropy among companies who do not indulge in it?
I think it's not important whether 2% is the limit or 3% is the limit. What is more important, how the balance 98% is earned. So that if we look at that area, then the idea of regulation comes with our idea of capitalism. That idea of capitalism comes from that the social good will be maximized if my personal good is maximized. And there will be some invisible hand which will do it. Obviously, the invisible hand has led to a lot of regulation which is outside. The Indian tradition, which let us say the Tata Group, the way it came, what did he believe in? If we look at his idea, probably I can speculate that he said that the social good will be maximized if I maximize my personal good, but there's a limit.
Absolutely.
And what is that limit? That limit is that whatever my actions are should not harm anybody. This is the idea of what we call as dharma.
Absolutely.
We understand it as your individual dharma, that man is free to do what he wants, but his actions should not harm anybody.
And also help the society around him for his own well-being.
If you do not harm, that is good enough as a beginning, right? So if you are following that, the society will benefit. Now, this is something which our system of education, which was there earlier, which made our civilization survive for 2.5 or 5,500 years, that has been forgotten. And therefore, all that we have learnt, we are victims of the choices that we have made.
Absolutely.
And those choices we've made in life as well, and they are reflected in the business of living life. So the business of living life has impacted the way we do business.
Right. So I can't let you go without asking you a few questions about the Indian economy. Narendra Modi is in the US. Yesterday he was speaking to CEOs in New York trying to sell the India story. He is promising that he will take India to a double-digit growth path in the next 2 years, create jobs enough to make his electoral promise not look like a promise anymore. Do you think these two goals are possible?
we should not go by numbers. We should always go by quality rather than quantity.
The quality of growth, yes.
The quality of growth is very important.
Right.
It's not we are growing because our population is growing, the working hands are increasing, but what is the quality of education we are giving? What is the quality of output our human beings are adding? If they are looking at value addition to society, that will be far more beneficial than chasing numbers and trying to chase a promise.
Right.
The promise that we give in our education system is a promise to live a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
If we are able to live up to that promise, then I think the biggest promise will be fulfilled.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you.